Alrighty, I think we're ready to start here. You feel good, Adriana?
Oh, great. Let's begin.
Awesome. So, welcome to today's Peek at Home webinar. Peek at Home is a collection of webinars and lessons that you can do at home with little or no materials. Peek is an educational program provided through the Energy Coalition. And the Energy Coalition, or TEC, pronounced TEC, is a nonprofit organization with over 45 years of experience designing and implementing strategies that transform energy use and inspire people to take responsible energy actions.
My name is Adriana Sotelo, and I'm with the Energy Coalition in the Education and Outreach field. I'm located in Merced, the gateway to Yosemite.
My name is Jack, and I am with the Energy Coalition, also in the Education and Outreach field. I'm located in the Inland Empire in Southern California.
Cool. Hey, Jack, what do you know about the sun?
Well, Adriana, what do I not know? Did you know that the sun is so large? 1 million Earths can fit inside the sun. That's a huge image to picture.
Wow, Jack, you sure do know a lot about the sun. Thanks for the fun fact. We are excited to show you this video of Shelby doing what she loves, and we hope it encourages you to pursue a green career as well. While watching this video, we would like you to take mental notes and think about what type of skills Shelby needs in order to perform her job. Afterwards, we'll do a small activity.
And thank you all for joining us today. And now enough of us talking. Let's add some light with her video.
We'll tell you a little bit about what they do and how they got here. Today, Shelby Sugierski will be sharing her story with you. Thanks for joining us, Shelby.
All right. So my name is Shelby Sugierski. I'm 26 years old. I work for a nonprofit. And I want to kind of explain a little bit about what that is in case you don't know too much about nonprofits or are curious about what they do. So generally, a company can do anything in the world. Like they can make things, or they can offer services, like they could make an iPhone, or they could have a service like Uber. But generally, the point of a company is to be profitable, and by that I mean make money. Nonprofits also offer a good or service, but they also focus on their mission rather than just on making money, and usually that mission has to do with helping people. So what Rising Sun, the nonprofit that I work for, does, our mission is to empower people to get good jobs for themselves and their families and to help the environment. So how do we do that? In the program that I work for, I hire teenagers and young people, really ages 15 to 22, for summer jobs. So that's kind of the jobs and helping people part of our mission. The young people I hire, and the youngest are generally high school freshmen, actually make money for themselves working for us in the summer. Shown the 3 different types of light bulbs that are most common. The one on the far right you might have seen before, that's called an incandescent. And that kind of light bulbs technology didn't change since they were practically invented. So that uses a lot of energy. Then you might have also seen the one in the middle, which is called a CFL. That one uses a lot less energy than an incandescent, but most recently there's one called an LED, and that's on the far left side. So that uses less than half of what the CFL uses, but remember, these all have the same amount of light. So that's what energy efficiency means for us, is that we're installing something that uses less electricity, less energy, so you have to pay less, you're helping the environment, but you're getting the same amount of light, so you don't have to sacrifice anything. It's really cool for us because we provide the service and all the light bulbs and other materials for free to help people save more money on electricity and water. So that's what my organization does, but what do I do? I'm a regional manager. From January to June, my main job is to be a recruiter. Recruiters are the people who find the right person for the job, essentially. To do this, I go to high schools, I go to community colleges, universities, and job fairs, and set up a table like the one in the picture on the left. We also do things like post on social media like Instagram and job searching websites, essentially because we want as many people as possible to hear about our jobs so that we have a lot of people to pick from, and then we get the best people. And then when people apply, I then do the interviews, and then at the end, I decide who to actually hire. So that's what a recruiter does. At the same time, it's also my job to work with city governments to get the word out about our energy efficiency service, find temporary summer locations to rent, and prepare the training for the summer employees. From June through August is when the summer jobs begin and when we start to provide our service. The picture on the right is me with all the people who worked at one of these sites that I recruited for. So I recruited, interviewed, and hired all the people in the photo, and during the summer transitioned to help managing them. What management involves for my job is training people well so they know what they're doing, giving them the support they need throughout the summer, and working with them to achieve the goals that each group needs to achieve. And from August to the end of the year, I do two things. One, we make up reports for cities and counties about what we did in their area. So for example, they might be interested in how many shower heads we installed, which helped to save water, or maybe even how much electricity we saved. The cities are also interested in how many people we hired from their city, because that's giving people good jobs. I'm really lucky because I really love the people that I work with every day, and some of them have become some of my closest friends. We all have a lot in common because I think we have the common values of loving to help people and the environment. Also, as a little side note, we get to have dogs at work, which I really love too. You've heard a little bit about what I do now, but I know that a lot of you guys aren't as close to having your full career start up yet, so I thought I'd talk a little bit about what I did when I was younger. I grew up in a small town near Ann Arbor, Michigan, until I was 15 years old, with an older brother and a younger sister. My mom ran our house, and my dad was an insurance agent. My mom was the one who actually got me into the environment. Her big thing is waste and recycling. So she got me really interested in that, and that led me into my passion for helping the environment. The main thing that I did when I was young was I liked to play sports. I mainly played soccer and basketball, and I did that year-round. And I also did swimming, softball, and volleyball. I also liked drawing, writing. I loved school. I liked making videos and playing with my pets. I started working actually when I was about 10 in 5th grade, which I know is a lot earlier than a lot of people do. But I was a soccer referee at the local soccer club. So after a few years of roughing little kids, because I was a little kid, I got certified to be an official referee. If you have any interest in sports, that would be something to look into as a good part-time job. For high school, I went to 2 years in Michigan, and then my family moved to North Carolina. Throughout high school in both places, I did a lot of volunteering and leadership activities. I did environmental clubs, I did volunteer clubs, I did student government, and I really enjoyed doing that. I wasn't sure throughout high school what I wanted to do as a career. I applied to colleges in North Carolina where I lived because you actually have to pay less when you go to college in the state where you went to high school. That's called in-state tuition, and that's a really good thing to consider when you're going to college. I got a really high amount of scholarships at one school, so that's where I decided to go. I went to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Just for reference, that's where Michael Jordan went to college. I ended up studying public policy and economics. One of my favorite things that I did was that I was the director of a student volunteer group for 3 years. So I got involved with it my first year, and then I really liked it. So then I took on a leadership role and actually managed it for 3 years. In the picture in the middle, I led a campus-wide book drive and collected 562 books to go to kids who don't have many books. In the picture on the right, I got to volunteer in an event where I got to teach kids to ride bikes for the first time. I actually think that being a director was one of the places I learned most in college, even more than my academic classes. And the reason I say that is because I learned, again, how to manage people and even to be in charge of people my own age or older, but still get them to respect and listen to me. My other favorite thing that I did while I was in school was I studied abroad. I went to Peru in South America. Throughout the whole time of high school and college, I was always trying to figure out what I wanted my career to be. A career is obviously really important because after 20 or so years of school, this is what you'll be doing for the rest of your life, most of your waking hours. It was frustrating to try to figure out, especially when you're young, because you have to try to explore what's out there, think about your own skills and likes, and also consider, for example, how much money you need or want to make. I always see a career portrayed as something like this picture. You have this upward set of stairs to take to get to the ultimate career goal, or sometimes you see a career path laid out. But the one one thing that I want you to take away from all this is that careers look less like this picture and more like a pair of earbuds when you take them out of your pocket. Though they definitely have a beginning and an end, it's all twisted and jumbled up and by no means a straight line. I mean, when I was in high school, I thought about being a teacher, a journalist, or maybe a pilot. When I was in college, I thought about being an economist or working for the government or being a lawyer. I even took the test that you need to take to get into law school. But all in all, I was pretty confused and definitely not settled on anything. However, there was one moment I could definitely point to that started me wanting to work for the environment. Bill Nye, the science guy, came to my college and gave a talk about climate change. He mentioned that it's such a huge problem that no matter what job you might want to have, you can work for the environment. This was the first person who told me that I could actually take something I really cared about, which is the environment, and find a career there. Before that, I kind of thought a career was just getting a specific job, like the things I mentioned, a journalist, a lawyer, maybe a doctor. From that moment, I decided that I did want to dedicate my career to the environment. Going back to that career jumble, it also probably took me 5 months and more than 60 job applications to get my first job, which was working at a solar company. After that, I decided to go to a nonprofit instead, but even that decision and transition was by no means a straight line. It was a long, hard process to decide to leave, and I was unemployed for a couple months in between that job and the job I have today. One thing I've learned and one piece of advice I have is to try new things. And when I say try new things, I'm not just talking about at school or work. Like try skateboarding or traveling to another state or painting or whatever just to see what it's like. And the second piece of advice I have, which is related to the first, is do what you like. And I don't mean by that do whatever and break all the rules. I mean, as you try new things, try to pay attention to which of those things you like, whether it's drawing or making playlists or helping edit your friend's paper or maybe a robotics or debate competition you did. As you find what you like, that can help you make decisions about what kind of career you want to have. Everything I've done in school and my career has taught me both what I do like and maybe more importantly what I don't. Like all the leadership work I did in school, which I loved, translating to me managing 50 people every year in my current job. The leadership taught me directly how to be a good manager. I really think that you should do what you like in some capacity because I believe that no matter what your interests and skills are, there's some way that you can combine those into a career. So like me, I don't just have to be a scientist to help the environment. I can be a recruiter and a regional manager like I am now and actually still be helping the environment. So even if you're not that interested in science or math, first of all, give it a try. But also at the same time, think about how you can use your other skills or your other interests to still be working for something that you believe in. I have a couple of pieces of concrete advice that I'd like to share. First of all, do consider nonprofits as a career. If you like helping people or you like helping the environment or you like helping something, it's a good place to be and you can make a career there. Learn Spanish or another language. When I hire people, I look specifically for people who speak another language. And the reason for that is they can talk to more people. They can provide our service in a different language. We can reach more people because they know another language. Get to know your teachers, be grateful to them and stay in touch with them. They're the ones who teach you everything that you know for the most part, but also as you go through your career, you need letters of recommendation and job recommendations. To stay in touch with the people that you work with every day who can talk about how good of work that you do will be really useful for you in a career, especially in high school and college when it's time to maybe apply to college or your first job. Try to travel as much as you can. That one is basically because it opens up your worldview and your perspective and you learn new things. And then finally, do get internships or jobs in your area of interest. When you go to get your first job after high school or after college, it really helps if you have some experience in the workplace in the area that you're interested in. It also teaches you, before you graduate, how to work in a professional place because it's a lot different than actually just going to school.
Thanks so much, Shelby. This is Zoe at the Energy Coalition again. Thanks so much for sharing your career path with us.
Well, we hope you enjoyed listening to Shelby and what she does. Now, with the rest of our time, we're going to do an activity called skills mapping. Would you like to explain more, Adriana?
Absolutely. We will be connecting all the different skills that Shelby has or uses in order to understand how she does her job. So first, let's get out a piece of paper, draw the image we have here with Shelby's name in the middle of the cloud.
Cool, cool. I think I might just draw it too. I have some paper right next to me.
Then from there, we have 3 branches at the end of each and draw an oval that will write technical skills.
After you do that, we'll have 2 more branches coming off those ovals, and you'll draw a diamond or any shape you like, and that's where we'll have our workplace skills. And then on the other branch, put a hexagon, or again, any shape you might like on that end, and this is where our interpersonal skills will go.
And once you're done with that, let's talk about the different skills we'll be covering. So the first one we'll be covering is technical skills, which are skills that are abilities and knowledge needed to perform specific tasks. Working in energy and other STEM fields require a good understanding of scientific principles and concepts.
Yeah, and after we cover Shelby's technical skills, we'll be connecting workplace skills, which are basic skills that are easy to cover over different workplaces. And our last skill will be interpersonal skills, which are behaviors a person uses to interact well with others. We'll cover both of those further on in the lesson, though.
So let's start with our technical skills. As you can see, we have multiple skills that are listed here. But what we would like to do is in the chat is to pick one that you think Shelby commonly uses for her career as an environmental educator.
Okay, so I see project managing. That definitely is a skill. She's teaching about the environment to others, but also communicating about like the project she's doing. So that's really important in her role.
Mm-hmm.
Process thinking, that's a good one. I think probably something like maybe data visualization would probably be important in a role like that too. See how they're impacting places.
Data analysis would be a good one also.
Oh yeah, that would be a great one. You gotta analyze that data before you visualize it.
Exactly. Okay, awesome. I see some good replies. So the main technical skills Shelby demonstrates for her job is project management. Since she is a supervisor, she has to oversee many projects that she gives to her employees. Process thinking, based with her job title and how she presents her ideas to better the communities and also give advice to her team. Data analysis, Shelby tracks her data in her customers' homes and communities to let her know where to improve for her job and the community's resources.
And so the next set of skills we'll be covering will be workplace skills, which, as we mentioned, are the basic skills a person like Shelby must have to succeed in any workplace. There are core knowledge, skills, and attitudes that will help workers get along with coworkers. So we'll be doing the same here with our workplace skills. Choose a skill you think Shelby demonstrates and post it in the chat for us to see. I think for Shelby, I would say strategic planning would probably be a good one. Definitely some people have a good understanding of like how they can actually like implement a project and such things.
Mm-hmm. I think time management as well. That's a lot of people to keep in contact with.
Resource planning, I see that. That's a really good one. And scope management. Okay, yeah. Definitely when you're working in a nonprofit, you want to be making sure you're getting resources planned efficiently and that you're also keeping the projects you're doing within scope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, great replies. The main workplace skills that we noticed that Shelby uses for her job are actually things like scope management, being the first. Since Shelby works with many stakeholders in different groups, like cities and residents, she has to keep projects within the scope that others want. I think next slide. And the second skill we thought that Shelby had was also deliverable design. And this ties in working closely with others. So Shelby has to convince others that her services and products worked closely with what they're doing. And then our last one that we have is attention to detail. When trying to see how much energy her nonprofit has helped save, she needs to get into the details of her data. So having attention to detail really helps her in this part of her job when dealing with data analysis.
Cool. For our last set of skills, we'll be covering interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills are which behaviors a person uses to interact well with others. These skills include communication, manners, and listening skills. Now choose an interpersonal skills you think Shelby demonstrates and post it in for our chat to see.
I think positivity, definitely. Self-motivation, that's a good one. I see passion as well. That I would say Shelby's pretty passionate about what she does.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Some really good replies. The main interpersonal skills Shelby demonstrates for her job are charisma. Shelby has an amazing career and she likes to show that with her employees, staff, and potential clients. Self-motivation. Shelby has always been motivated individuals in how she widened her scope of motivation by doing what she enjoys and helping others along the way, as she has projects that have quite a long time, but she pushes through. Lastly is the strong work ethic. In Shelby's video, she explains that she has always put her love in her work, and she exercises that on a daily basis. She always pushes herself to do more for her community, and that's what makes her job so important.
And as you can see, Shelby has many skills that she uses in her work as a regional manager. From charisma to project management, she uses these skills daily, and we hope you were all able to identify her and your own skills that you use. And hopefully you enjoyed the activity we had today. So we're going to move on to the next one, and Adriana will explain a little bit further.
For the last part of our webinar today, we will be using skills we've learned today to save energy in our own homes. On the screen here, we have a list of items and appliances and other things that we use for energy. Each of these appliances, you're going to decide how long you want to keep them running. For example, the TV here uses 4 beans for 2 hours. The pool here uses 6, and so on. Your task will be to decide what you want to power and for how long. Also, you want to save energy though. You only have 20 beans.
So just for example, imagine today I'm using my TV for 5 hours. I multiply 2 beans for the 5 hours I have, which would be 10 beans, leaving me only with 10 beans to use for other appliances around the house. Say I use my air conditioners for 2 hours and it's 4 beans, so 2 times 2 is 4 there. So it would cost me 4 beans to run my air conditioner for 2 hours, or 2 beans for every hour to run my air conditioner.
Thank you, Jack, for breaking it down. That's super helpful. Now, my little sunshines, I want you to do the test. You can do it yourself or have a parent or guardian help you with to get the most out of your energy. We want to see in our chat what you would use more of. Could it be the TV? Maybe the pool because it's warming up outside? Maybe your lights because we're all working and learning from home now? Let us know. You can always change the appliances to where it's in your home.
And also remember, you only get to use 20 beans, so you want to keep that in mind. So I'm also going to do this activity as well and decide what I want to be using.
What do you think you would use the most, Jack?
I think I don't watch too much TV, but if it's hot out here, especially out someplace like Riverside, I might do maybe pool for 2 hours. So that would be 6 beans. I would do AC maybe after that for like 2 hours. And then I'll probably keep the lights on for like 5 hours, maybe in the afternoon, evening, and whatnot. So that would be about 20 beans right there.
I would have to agree with you. It's warming up here in Merced as well, so I'm getting ready for that heat wave.
Yeah.
We get out of beans really fast.
Yeah. As you notice, the AC uses a lot more beans or energy per hour than the fan here.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to keep that in mind when you're trying to cool down and save energy.
Hey, Jack, our energy goes by quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
It's actually been an all right day here. So I powered my AC for 2 hours and then I used my fan for 2 hours while reading, but I got bored. So I turned on my TV for 2 hours, then kept my lights on for 5 hours so I could read some more and cook a good meal at the end of the day.
Okay, I think that would come out to about 20 beans right there. So that's quite a bit to be using. So that's a good use of your energy right there. I think for myself, I was really, really hot. So I decided to keep my pool running for 5 hours. And then at the end of the day, I really wanted to keep the AC running as well for another 5 hours, but I couldn't bring it to myself. That would have been 25 beans right there.
Yeah.
So I can only run it for really 2 hours afterwards. I was still hot when it got around like, late afternoon, around like 5, about 4 and 5. So post in chat what you think. You can also do this activity afterwards. A PDF will be provided later on with Peek at Home materials.
And feel free to change up the appliances. Who knows? Somebody might like to use their toaster a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
It's that time. Bagels are amazing.
Or maybe you like cooking. You're probably using an electric stove for a couple hours or so. I know I've cooked for a good long while at times, where you have to leave something on the stove for a while too. Cooking beans.
Cooking beans, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, what about if we had put a crock pot? That's 8 hours.
Ooh, yeah, that's true. So something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do you think that would take up to 8 beans or 16 beans?
yeah, like around 8.
8
It's a small
beans.
appliance, but things like that. So if there's any appliances you can think that you would use at home that would require electricity, think about what you might be using. Try to count that out and save your energy usage. Something like a pool, definitely a bigger item, but also think about your car. If you're driving a lot, if you're doing like a weekend trip, you might be driving like for maybe 3 to 5 hours.
That's a long time to be in a car.
I know. Definitely driving for 2 hours is not unrealistic, though, down here in Southern California. Well, we'll probably give it another minute for folks to post anything about their energy usage and how they might use their energy. Oh, someone mentioned their computer/charger is used the most. So they're wondering if that's about 8 beans. I would say that's about 8 beans.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's a little bit smaller, but definitely like if you left it plugged in the whole day, maybe it might be a little bit more.
Yeah. And depending on how big your computer is, if it's a laptop,
True.
it might be different
True.
compared to a desktop. And if you have double monitors.
That is absolutely true.
And your fan running.
If you have fan running, AC running, because you just want to do that. I know I've been using my computer a lot more, so.
Yeah, I agree. Working from home.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for your responses, everyone. And thank you for joining us on this webinar today. So again, this will be posted on future Peek at Home, so if you like to do this activity at home, but think about our appliances you might be using as well, especially during this time when we're all in the house right now.
Yes, we hope all of you watching were able to also use your energy wisely and think like Shelby. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you learned something new and enjoyed this webinar. Join us on Thursday, May 21st at 1 p.m. to go over another fun activity while getting to know more STEM heroes. If you have any questions, please send us a chat with your question and email, and we will email you back a response as soon as we can.
Thank you, everyone. And if you want to find more information, peakstudents.org, you can find more information there. So again, May 21st at 1 to 2 p.m. and then peakstudents.org is where you can find further Peek at Home lessons, previously recorded webinars, and many other fun activities we have with all our different items. So thank you again, and we really appreciate you joining us for this webinar today. Bye, everyone.
Bye, sunshines. Have a nice day.
This webinar was brought to you by the Energy Coalition. With NGSS-aligned and environmentally focused STEM lessons, the Energy Coalition provides Peek at Home, digital lessons designed to support your students' curiosity for science and exploration from the comfort of home. To sign up is quick and easy. Simply visit the Families Corner of the Peek website at peakstudents.org/families-corner. There, you can complete the registration form for access to our full Peek at Home library and for more information on all Peek program offerings.